Hi, everyone, and welcome to an episode of Behind the Body. Today, we're going to talk about the 3 phases of dieting. And I think that why this is interesting is because when you think about a diet, most people think about being in a calorie deficit, but there are also 2 other phases, the maintenance phase and the bulking phase. And so we want to talk a little bit about when you would do each of those. Both Anna and I have clients that we put on meal plans. So, like, how do we incorporate those 3 phases, and when do we incorporate those 3 phases? And I think it's just like, it's good to inform people that, like, listen, you don't have to be in a calorie deficit, forever, right?
And I think is one of the things that people are very scared of. First, they link the diet with struggle, with be hungry, and it's not the point. Of course, the deficit, if you are looking for lose weight, is important, but a losing weight is a process where we need to go on and sometimes change the strategy, even for mental health, for the clients in the process. Because again, everything starts here, right? So I think it's going to be a good topic,
Yeah.
maybe to bring to you guys. And it is so fascinating because it is not one only way to get there.
Exactly. And I think that that's like what's going to be so interesting is like, hey, there's a few different phases, but every body is different. And like the nuances and intricacies of our bodies are such that like there is no one way fits all, and there's even as we diet me for every competition, like that diet looks different every time because my body responds differently.
And that is the harder thing. If you think that you are there doing your diet and it's hard, it's because you are not an athlete. It is the hardest thing ever when you're talking about the strategy, the diet, because as Andrea said, it's every prep is different. And even, her body responded very well. Last prep doing something, we need to make some change so her body can keep responding. So I think when we're talking about diet, good diet, and it's always something that is going to bring us out of our comfort zone. But what we want to try today is clarify that it's not only one thing to do. It's not like a recipe, a cake recipe,
Yeah,
right?
right, exactly. And I think that's all good and bad because I think it's good in the sense that it's fun to spice it up and to see like how your body responds best to different methods of quote unquote dieting. But bad in that, it's not going to be consistent. And so you have to be.
Anyway,
Well, okay, we are picking up. I don't know where we left off because we had a whole motorcycle gang passing the house. So anyway, I can't remember what I said last, but what I remember where I was going is that no, there's not a one size fits all. That's good in the sense it keeps us changing and trying different things and keeps, our bodies guessing, which is a good thing, but it's a bad thing is that there's no consistency. So it's not like, okay, here's the plan. I'm going to follow this and I'm going to achieve all my results that I want to get. Right. So
yeah.
I think there's good and bad in that. But we were just talking about clients that we have. Tell us your eating habits now. What does a full day of eating look like for you? What do the weekends look like? What does your eating out look like? And a lot of times clients are like, oh, well, I fast or I'm not eating that much. I just am, picking up food like wherever I can here and there. And there seems to be like no consistency in people's diets. And so you and I both agree that the best place to start somebody if they're looking to go like on a diet is to sort of level set or create a foundation of calories for them, right? And a lot of times this can be based off of factors like their current weight, their age, male or female, what their goals are, what their body fat percentage is.
The routine is very important.
Yes.
If, sometimes for example, myself, I don't like to eat at the gym because I like to, sit down and have a pleasure on my meals. So I basically have like 3 big meals and 2 snacks, so I can enjoy myself and feel like, a pleasure what I'm doing that. But took me a little while to figure it out, and sometimes I was starving myself. So it's when it is not only way, because we need to see out this point that you said and try to fit you on the routine on the way that is going to be sustainable.
Exactly. And so for the client that I was just working with, I said, okay, let me figure out your total daily energy expenditure. So basically how much calories you should be having, also based on the amount of energy that you're spending every day. So like, are you working out? Are you active? Are you sedentary? And then let's create a reduction in those calories to initiate some fat loss, right? The number one piece of feedback from her after she got her meal plan was that it was a lot of food.
It's the same thing for all my clients at the
Right.
first.
Which is so funny because it's all relative, right? Our bodies get used to the food, whether it's a lot or a little bit. But I think that if I had to be inside her head, just based on my experience, what it probably is a lot of protein.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's what we prioritize. Protein, for a lot of reasons, is the number one macro that we focus on because it's satiating. So it's going to fill you up.
You burn 30% of the calorie only by to make the digestion of the protein. That
Exactly.
Is other thing is a different breakdown in your body. And yeah, for me, it's the same, babe. All my clients are like, oh my God, it's too much. I cannot eat that. I just like, all right, we're going to start. We need to start for somewhere.
Exactly.
I don't want you to force yourself, but I want to, when you're hungry, you eat that food. I think that is the best start. And then I start to ask, are you hungry? Okay, I eventually start to be hungry. It's like, you are making your body to work on those food. So your metabolism is finally speeding up a little bit because you are eating more, so your body's working better. So it's the beginnings.
And it's so funny that people are so surprised by that method, right? So let's get you eating the right foods in the right quantity so that we have your body and your metabolism working in its optimal state. Because right now, if you're, for a lot of people and your diet is sporadic, your body doesn't know what to rely on. It's like,
Yeah.
am I going to get some protein? Am I not? Am I going to get some fats? Am I not? Like too many carbs? Like what's happening in my body? And so like random actions create random results. And your body is like in this, constant state of like not knowing how to respond. So the most important thing is to get our clients having a very consistent diet. And I say at least for 2 weeks, but I'd like to see that from like anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks to get your body and your metabolism functioning at an optimal state.
And you're gonna get used it, and
100%.
you're gonna start to realize what food you like better, what food you cannot eat at all. And we have now so many options when you're talking about health food that it's interesting to do the process. Okay, so let's change a little bit your breakfast. And and then the whole process is opportunity that our clients have to learn and get something positive of each phase. That is, it's what is gonna make you in the future. You don't need to follow any protocol. Just eat what you like, and it's health at the same time, and it's good for your body, and especially when we are on the maintain phase. In the first phase, that it's more normally, most of the people come to us because they wanna, load the body fat. I'm gonna say 99% of my clients, the first step is losing the body fat. I have like 1% that is, under the weight and need to gain weight. That is the other case. But at the first phase
Of cutting.
we're gonna do the diets that are gonna make our clients drop the body fat. Not necessarily they're gonna drop the weight because they're gonna be working out, doing other things, eating more protein. They're gonna feed more properly the muscle, the body. So, but the body fat is gonna go down for sure, and you can see that on the clothes, the way that you look. And I got back the thought. The food is so relative. You're gonna eat a brownie. Is that piece, like a small piece of brownie, is 1,500 calorie. A bowl of oatmeal, peanut butter, protein powder is gonna be
Like 400 calories, less than 400 calories in my breakfast every day.
Yeah. And you're gonna have much more food. You're gonna feel full.
much more fiber, many more vitamins and minerals.
Protein and everything. So I think it's the first thing is if you're gonna start right now, trust your dietist, your coach, whoever is helping you, who's helping you and have knowledge for that. Trust in the process and give yourself a little bit time to learn, to make mistakes, and get more involving with the first phase. That is very important. If you do good, the other ones is gonna be easier and you're gonna get in a maintain phase faster.
Yeah. So when we talk about the first phase of cutting, it's a reduction in calories. And how many calories should you cut from your diet and how often? It all depends on the individual and it all depends on the goal. But I do think that there is probably a safer way to do it, a way that's more sustainable. And that's like a slow reduction in calories. So I think the first part of level setting a diet, basically structuring a diet so you're getting adequate protein, carbs, fats, and fiber for each meal throughout the day, getting somebody to eat a structured diet is the first part. And then reducing the calories, maybe depending on the goal by 100, every single week, or depending on how fast or slow they lose fat might
I
be.
super agree.
Yeah.
And we are talking about her client before we start recording and what she's doing. It's amazing. Thinking about you're gonna come from I eat whatever I want to a 1,000 calorie diet, not gonna work.
No.
A 15 is not gonna work. If a normal person is not overweight, but her client is obese, so she was eating more than 2,000 calories. So what you did was amazing. The smart decision. You start with her calorie high with food. She probably not gonna eat everything, but she mentally has options that make she feels like, all right, if I'm hungry, I can eat that,
Right.
and I will still losing weight. So that's gonna make her feel like, all right, I can handle that. And that is the first step if you are overweight to lose weight. Because only by change bad food for good food, you're gonna get results.
Totally. It's such an easy change to say, an easy change on paper, but not an easy change when you're just used to grabbing whatever you want, whenever you want, and not having a structured diet or plan, because it is a lot. It is a big lifestyle change to go from eating whatever you want, whenever you want, to a structured plan. But it's the most effective way and the most
Yeah.
sustainable way, I do think.
Yeah, and that we care from you dedication, because when we're talking about our style, at least it's about real food. You're gonna need to take time to prep your food, or you're gonna need to have money to order your food for some place that prep health food for you. Is You're not gonna find what you need in a box, in a container, at the grocery that is there for forever. That is not the most health options. You can have one or two meals that it's more, processed, but the goal is have less processed food as we can, because that is good for your weight loss, but it's good for your immune system. And after we had COVID, what my first concern about life now is putting my immune system high to the point that I can go through any kind of COVID or whatever happened out there. So yeah, it is a process, and it is not only hard to eat the food, but prep yourself for that, because we don't want to bring like, "Ah, it's easy, come here," like the cold water in the pool. Come, it's good. It is good, but it is hard at first, and but you can do it.
Of
You do
course.
it.
Of course.
I do it. You can do it. But yeah, it's gonna be actually much more food than you use it to eat, but the calorie is gonna be low.
Yeah.
And I think it's the safe way to start a process for
Yeah.
sure.
But the good thing and the good news is that a calorie deficit isn't forever. right? Because there's another phase in which we call the maintenance phase. And this phase could be a phase that we go into for a short period of time or a phase that we go into a long period of time, just depending on where we are with meeting our goals.
Exactly. And I always say that as better you do the first phase, faster you're gonna get to the second phase. In the second phase, we can do so many different ways. For myself, I like to have more freedom on the weekends. So I keep my calorie pretty tight during the week. Since my life, it's my routine, I'm used to not eat it a lot,
We have structure during the week that helps us maintain our diet.
Exactly.
Where on the weekends we don't have that same structure, and then the
Yeah.
the food, the cravings,
And the friends,
the friends, the social, all those things kick in.
So that is the way that for myself works better. But I do have clients that prefer to have a chocolate every day, than have a big, meals during the weekend. And if it works for you, works for her, is a good way to maintain. Because at the end of the day, the only thing that are gonna work is the thing that you do, and you just gonna do something, especially for a long term, like a lifestyle, if you have doing that. And I always say that because it's the truth.
Yeah.
It's the truth. When people ask why your clients have results, like because they're happy. They're happy. Sometimes they're like, boom, boom. But I do my best to help them figure it out. What when they're on the low times, bring up to the high times, because life is about to be happy. And food, it is a huge part of our happiness. Science, we are so, social life is a round table. When we are happy, we wanna eat. When we are sad, we wanna eat. When we're anxious, we wanna eat or drink. The maintain phase, it is the hardest phase for most of people, because has other thing on this phase as well. I got in my abs. I look good. So I'm gonna open a session today. And then I'm gonna open tomorrow too, because I opened yesterday. I still look good.
What do you mean open a session?
Like cheating your diet or eating something.
So you feel good. You're like hit your goal, and you're like, okay, well maybe I can have a little bit of some pizza and then maybe a little bit of dessert here,
and
then it becomes like this snowball effect of going back to your old eating ways and your old habits, and then gaining the weight back.
Exactly. It's why the maintain phase, it is the best. So you already had figured it out what you like to do, what the foods that you like. You can eventually eat more because your body fat is low, but also the freedom can bring you back for the first phase if you're not smart enough to understand that your body needs a time to release, the food that you have. So what I'm gonna give you here as a tip for if you are going to run the maintain phase, give your body at least 3-4 days between, when you have something different of your routine. For example, you go for dinner, and even you eating health, you are eating like a food that is extra oil, can bring 200 300 calories for your meal. You're gonna drink something, you're gonna have a dessert. Don't do this again tomorrow. Let your body, process the food, using the good food, and eliminated the bad food, so you can, even you are in the maintain phase, it's important you keep the control.
Well, I think we should understand what the maintenance phase is. The maintenance phase is once you reached your weight loss, fat loss goals, or your physique goals, that's how many calories you can eat to sustain that look, right? So if you decide to go off and have cheat meals here, cheat meal there, everywhere, cheat meal, not following that plan at that specific calorie amount, then you risk gaining that weight back, right? And so the whole point of maintenance is to keep you maintaining that current shape, that current weight that you're at.
And honestly, for me, has been harder to be on the maintain phase to then get there, because I'm so like, God, you eat that. And then I look good, like I look good, I deserve it. And just a little bit more. And it's so easy to lose control.
Well, I feel like for me, it's the maintenance phase is hardest for me also, because I like the discipline and structure of a fat loss plan. You know, I'm like, okay, I'm goal oriented. So I'm like, okay, I have this plan and I need to do this and I need to do that. And next week it probably will change. And maybe in a few weeks it'll go down even more. And like, we're making progress. But then when you're at maintenance, it's kind of like,
The challenge, yeah, the challenge is different. And besides, you have your mind so in control about the little mistakes. For me, it is a huge challenge to not make the mistakes.
Yeah.
You're not even,
well,
no.
like, but I think that's what's good to know is like when you are in the maintenance phase, hopefully in the first phase, the cutting phase, you have gained enough knowledge, like you said, you've developed enough habits, you know the go-tos to go back there if you need to, because life is not just like one linear path, right? Like in anything in life, we just kind of go with the flow and things change and we adapt. And sometimes that might mean we have the holidays coming up and maybe a lot of social events, a lot of parties, a lot of this, a lot of that. And we may be in a position where we're going to eat more. And that's okay. Or vacations, right? That's okay. But hopefully you've developed the habits in the cutting phase where you can maybe go back when you need to lose a couple pounds and then come back to maintenance phase when you're ready.
Yeah. And also we have the third phase, right?
The third phase of bulking.
That
This
is
is an
hard.
interesting phase.
I hate it.
I don't think most people consider the bulking phase as part of like a dieting phase. But what bulking is eating in a calorie surplus in order to meet some sort of goals too. So when would you bulk?
Well, so for me, the book is coming before the mountain. It's like I get a client and her goal is drop her body fat, but also gain some glutes, gain some legs, some muscle. But if I focus first and she gain the muscles, she gonna be overweight because she's already is overweight, right? But also when we are cutting, we can build it, yeah, but not much. We actually gonna see much more what she already has, And of course, if you're sedentary before, if you never had the protein enough, you're gonna make you're gonna gain muscle, but it's not the quantity that you're gonna gain in a bulking phase because you're gonna be under the deficit calorie. So in order to gain muscle naturally, your body fat necessarily gonna go high because you're gonna need to eat more. And even as oatmeal, chicken, rice, if you eat more than you burn it during the day, that is gonna be an extra food that is gonna go to your storage. But in this case, it's not going for your fat storage, not 100%. Mostly go for your muscle. Why? Because you are working out, and when you work out, you broke the fibers, and the way for your body recover is using the food that you're eating to recover the muscle. So you don't need to be scared if you're doing the right thing. But the booking is so important because if you do mistakes, as I did in the past, you eat it all your diet for booking, and at the top, you add more food. That is wrong because your body, you're gonna be fat. And you're gonna need to back very hard for the first phase before you move to the second phase. So what I like to do is do slow the booking phase. I do like, let's say I do like cutting like for a few months when my girl is not there yet, but it's already on the comfortable place. I do more 2 months of booking, giving her more food, bringing more, maybe a little bit more. It's very individual. And then I back for the cutting phase. So that way I'm giving her muscle without to let her body fat go too high.
Yeah, I think that's great. So you basically diet them down, cutting, seeing what kind of muscle that they're working with or what you're working with at the point based on her goals, on her fitness goals. You then bulk to help her build muscle, which I think is great. I think that when I worked with clients before that are already overweight, that are also incorporating a fitness plan with their meal plan, I would not bulk them because they're already carrying extra weight, right? So you definitely want to bring them down, bring them down, bring them down, make sure that they have enough protein to sustain the muscle growth. And they're not going to be accumulating or holding on to any body fat. I also think that people might look at bulking as a way to just eat extra calories, you know, to eat more as an excuse.
Eating more chicken and oatmeal is not funny.
Yeah, it's not as fun. It's not like eating pizza and sushi, but nonetheless, it's more food. And I think people could use like, oh, I'm trying to build muscle, so I'm in my bulking phase. I don't think you need to eat more than 10% in calories in order to achieve the muscle growth that most people maybe want to achieve or are trying to achieve. And I think this is different. If you are new to working out and you're building all new, brand new muscle, maybe you need a little bit more calories. But I think for the majority of the people who are incorporating a fitness plan, you don't need to overconsume by more than 10% calories. It's not like a free for all. Eat what you want. You're trying to grow muscle.
No. Otherwise, you're going to grow fat.
Yeah.
And who wants to grow fat?
No, but I mean,
please.
I mean, maybe some people, but
yeah. Well, you're right. And I just want to give a comment about the obese people. You guys, they need to still build a muscle because mostly they don't have. Why? Since you're not feeding well your body, when your body needs and your body think you die, they're gonna storage the fat and using your power muscle as energy. I recommend you do the cutting phase.
yes.
Go to the gym, especially this phase, working out. You know, trying to build in as much muscle as you can, so you can keep your skin tight on you because it is important. Do you know, baby, that one of the causes of Alzheimer,
Alzheimer's, yeah.
is when people has less muscle.
Mm.
Yeah, I was just studying about this. Who has more muscle has less chance to have Alzheimer. So again, we back. Even we can talk about any topic. We're gonna come back to the basic. It's about your health. I think the first phase is gonna be very important. You know, but eventually the booking phase is gonna need to be necessary. Maybe not in the first year. To be honestly, it's a process, guys.
Yeah.
We took your entire life to put 200 pounds in your body. You're gonna need to be passionate. You know, work hard to get it to normal state. And I'm telling that, and to be honestly, people are romanticizing too much the obesity right now. Like, oh, you need to embrace yourself, accept.
Body positivity.
You
Yeah.
should, definitely, but be healthy. You know, be obese, that means that you are your exams, take it. Take a very good look in that. How many years do you want to live? You know, when I see people that has no mobility to stand up, needs help. No.
Yeah.
The day that you feel your body, it's not even about to have a six pack. It's about to be able to run in for 5 minutes and don't feel you're dying.
Right.
It's not even about to put a cute outfit. Even I love it. It is something that inspired myself. But it is at the end of the day, it is not what put me to do my cardio and eat better. I just hit to the point in my life that I wanna live until I'm 110 years old. I will. Alan, you better be helping with me. And I just wanna live better. So do the phase and again involve you with the process. If you are involved, you're gonna have fun. Instead of like, oh, I'm gonna need I need to eat this eggs or this diet. Make an omelette. You know, make an omelette. Enjoy it. Realize that it's the way that you love yourself. Feeding yourself right.
Knowing that there are several phases that you can go to in your journey and the life journey of, you know, being healthy and hitting your weight loss goal, I think is comforting, and knowing that you don't have to stay in this deficit forever or stay in any one place forever. It's really in your control if you practice the habits that it takes to get there, and also the patience, because that is the number one thing as well that I think we tend to lose when we're in a cutting phase is like that patience to see the process through and to trust that your body, God, it does so much for you. Like, give it some time to adapt, give it some time to like work at its optimal to help you achieve your goals.
Forget about the how long it's gonna take, and
Yeah.
look to it's a new lifestyle. I hear these days one woman that she's obese, she's on the process, and she was complaining like, my entire life I didn't diet, I don't want to do diet anymore, I want to drink, I want to live my life, I want my life back. If you have done something your entire life, you didn't get the results, is because you are doing wrong. Hard work never gonna be better than a smart work. Be smart. Why you gonna do the diet the whole day, the whole week, and the weekend you're gonna lose everything that you put on? It's not much better. You do good every day. You do good. You make good choice, and when you want to, you have your beer. You eat your. It's what I do. When I wanna eat my chocolate, you don't even look at me. I'm gonna lick the whole thing. I'm gonna eat that.
And I think that's because, like you said, it's the difference in the mindset between a diet and a lifestyle. And like we could say that so easily because we've been doing it for so long that it is our lifestyle. But I feel like the majority of society sees it as a diet. I want to get from point A, my current weight, to point Z, my skinniest or whatever. And that's all that's the goal, right? But the intention behind it is like to do whatever you got to do. And that's why I think we see so many people on Ozempic, or so many people like going to extreme calorie deficits to achieve their goal because they just want that quickest road from A to Z. But I think what's so important to point out is that your livelihood, your happiness, like your satisfaction is based off of creating a lifestyle that works for you to hit your goals. It's that road, that, quickest road from A to Z is not the way. Sure, you might achieve your goals that, will ultimately be hard to sustain, but the lifestyle is what creates that achievement and that happiness and that pleasure in the process.
And I'm gonna be super honestly, May for you is easier than for me. And May I'm not obese right now because I'm very mentally strong about to fight every single day with myself. And you guys gonna see that. 1 week I'm gonna look tiny, then the other week because I struggle. That is the truth. I do my diet good every day. Nighttime, I feel like I have a monster inside of me, and sometimes I cannot even sleep. I wake up every hour to go to my freezer and eat something. Sometimes I sit myself in the sofa and say like, you don't do it. And I back to sleep. But sometimes I don't. So I do the rest so good. I do an hour cardio, I lift heavy, I eat pretty good when I can control because I still struggle with that. And I'm open up that just to say, if you see me and if Andrea's different.
No, I'm not. I have a very similar example.
Yeah.
From yesterday, I was eating, I have this cereal that I like, and it's like a healthier cereal, high protein, but nonetheless, I was eating out of the box, and I told my husband, like, can you please remove this box from my hand?
Hide.
And he said to me, the audacity of this man, why don't you practice self-control right now and you remove the box from yourself? And I said, can't remove this box from me. Remove this box from my hands right now. I said,
gonna call Anna.
But I said, you help me be a better person. I need your support in this moment because I'm not strong enough. That's why I asked you, but nobody is above it. Nobody. No. And that just happened. One example about the cereal. It could be other things, but we all have that struggle because it's not easy to be disciplined. It's not easy to not let that cortisol or to like that mental struggle, pull us to eat things that are pleasing, like pizza or chocolate or
And anything that as human being, anything that we are told to not do it, we want to do more.
100%.
That is
100%.
something. It is And us.
I think that's actually, if we go talk about that in regards to a calorie deficit, like when people are in extreme calorie deficits, meaning, you're just, I know somebody very close to me that's like, her weight loss initiative is just to go cut down to 1,000 calories a day. And she's lost weight like that before. So that's what works for her. But you are overweight again. So like, how well did that work for her, for you? But I think that we prevent ourselves from like allowing ourselves to have certain foods and this and that. We have like such, we like take everything out in order to hit this low extreme diet. And then the minute that like we give ourselves permission, we just go crazy.
And it's everything at once.
Yeah. Our brains want what we can't have. And so the minute you allow yourself that permission, you just like go batshit crazy and eat everything in sight,
I think the most important on the process, at least for myself, it is the self-talk. Be honestly.
Yeah.
I'm a successful trainer. I had an amazing career as athlete, but I still human being. And even I have all the knowledge, I still struggle. What make me have more success than maybe you that is overweight right now? My self-talk. I tell myself, you're gonna be doing that? You're gonna look that way. Do you want that? No. Take a picture. I don't like. I just remember, oh my God, all the poor choice that I made is brought me that. So try it,
Yeah.
Be honestly. Don't think you have any, maybe my metabolism, maybe my hormones, maybe this, maybe, no, maybe it's the crack that you ate like the whole box. I can eat like a lot without be hungry at once,
Me
if
too.
I don't tell myself like you don't do it.
Right.
Because nobody is with me 24/7. So it's about that. So doesn't matter what phase you're going through, remember, you're gonna see the struggle, be honest with yourself. And I think the self-talk is very important. It's like every day when I wake up at 5 to do my cardio, half of them is like, shut up, bitch,
Go back to
go
bed.
back to sleep. And the other one's like, all right.
Yeah.
All right. I see all the fat hanging on your t-shirts. Like, no way. I can't. And luckily, I haven't been, one most of the time. So
My self-talk to myself to help me navigate through these hard times are, if I continue to eat like this or eat this or do this that I shouldn't be doing because it's not in my plan because I didn't commit to this, how will I feel later? Meaning like, how will I feel about myself later?
Yeah.
Like, how disappointed will I be in myself? And like, that to me is sometimes, most of the time, enough to like overcome some of these struggles. But some people think like, oh, you have it easy once you develop these habits and these routines, like it's easy. But I would say I have these thoughts every day.
Yeah,
To some
every
degree,
day.
every single day.
So if you are that like, okay, I'm not to the point that I thought it was gonna be easy, it's not yet, so I'm gonna give it up. Don't do it. That is your new lifestyle. It's no way back. It's not time to regret. If you are already taking that serious, remember you should take yourself serious, especially if you wanna grow in anything that you do. So yeah, we are here. We look good. Even we have a BDD. We not that much, but we do a little bit. I think everybody has a little bit, but we do look good. We are, I'm 38, Andrea 42. We, pretty much put out the little girls in the pockets. No joking, but we are happy. Of course, we still work on improvement because I'm not satisfied, and I'm never gonna be. I know that Andrea the same. But we just want to say, like, don't look us like we do that because it's easy. We do that because we want so much that we're gonna challenge ourselves every day to be a better person, and that is on the pack.
And we've been doing this for a long time, meaning the dieting phases and the working out in the gym and like going through hard shit and competing. We've been doing it for so long that like we've developed the habits, the routine by now, it comes more naturally to us, but it's still fucking hard. And I think that that's not what this podcast is about. But I mean, I think that when we're really honest, it's hard for us too. Every single day we struggle. Every single day our partners are seeing us, like in a weak space, because we live with them. But like, and we talk about it amongst ourselves, but nobody's immune to it. But I think that when you prioritize yourself, when you prioritize your health, when you realize that this is a lifestyle and not just a diet, your chances of success are so much higher.
And again, even as you said, the podcast is to speak the truth about the getting your body dreams, because it's not only one thing. It is a lifestyle that it require a lot of chance that may overwhelm you when you're thinking about I'm on the first floor and I want to be on the top.
Mhm.
It's what we want to help you. Don't look where you want to be. Don't look to the big picture right now. Look for the steps.
Yeah.
And it's so important you do good out the phase. So that way, when you go to mountain phase, even again, we always want to look better. We always want to more good that are gonna make us never gonna be on the comfort zone. But again, our intention here is to hold your hands even we are here and you there, and to say like we go through the same struggle. Why may we have more results? Because we didn't give it up. We went through, we cry, we did again, we try again, we fall, and we still every day trying to do better and get better.
Yeah. And that's life.
That is life.
Well, we will leave it there. Any thoughts, questions, please come below, and then
Subscribe. Oh my god, I was waiting you say it. Subscribe, like the most important. If you have that friend that you talk it or that you watching, struggle with getting a health lifestyle, send to them.
Yeah, share, please. We don't say that enough, but share our podcast if you think it's going to help somebody that's close to you or that they would enjoy it. We would appreciate it as well. So, and follow us on Instagram at Behind the Bod.
Please.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you guys. Talk to you next time on Behind the Body.
Bye.
Bye.